Hi everyone, thank you for joining us. You're listening to the BiG podcast in partnership with Design and Build UK's Women in Construction Awards. This season we are celebrating women in trade. I'm Leila Gunter, and coming up in this Equality in Trade podcast, we're going to be talking to Anna Hernandez, co-founder of TaskHer, the only online tradeswoman booking platform that is purpose-driven, empowers homeowners to make conscious choices and then gets the jobs done. TaskHer is passionate about showcasing the 35,000 plus women in trades in the UK and doing their bit to tackle the issue of gender inequality in the trades. The trades industry has a bit of a bad rep when it comes to its gender disparity. That's one of the main reasons Anna founded TaskHer, to shake up the industry and champion the work of great tradeswomen who do things differently. So listen on to understand their journey to this point and where they hope to see it go. But first, don't forget to give us a like and subscribe on your favourite podcast platform. And if you want to contact us or find out what else we've been up to, you can follow us on our socials. So Anna, do you want to just talk to us and explain a little bit more about what TaskHer is all about and what your role is?
Yeah, so TaskHer started at the start of this year. Myself and my partner Paul, who's also co-founder, we started doing a little bit of research into women in trades, and we were just shocked by the lack of promotion of them. I'm from a marketing background. Paul is an entrepreneur and has created businesses and sold them before. So we both had a skill set that we were kind of ready and willing to use and do some good with. So in short, we've created TaskHer, which is a marketplace, so an online website where domestic clients can go and they can find tradeswomen. So any type of tradeswomen, as long as they're skilled, we vet them. We make sure that any tradeswoman that is taken on board TaskHer has all of the credentials that you'd expect from any skilled tradesperson. And we allow clients to book online and pay online, which is something that we were really looking for in an app. And then the other side of what we're doing is obviously promoting women in trade. So doing everything we can, using our skill set and our platforms to promote women in trade and to make it the norm. And the initial stage will be, the initial stage one is to create this marketplace and allow people to book tradeswomen as and when they want. People that are, who are seeking tradeswomen and couldn't find them particularly easily. And also to allow school leavers or young women or women who are looking to retrain to see that being a tradeswoman's, a fantastic career and a lucrative career. And stage two will be to launch an academy off the back of this website with all of the contacts and all of the amazing tradeswomen that we have, and to train up future tradeswomen, whether they want to be part of TaskHer or not, to train them up and to just fill the huge skills gap that we have at the moment.
So what was it that actually initially made you think, okay, let's launch this specifically just for women?
So originally, as I've said, like myself and Paul, we're not from a trade background. We were doing some work on our house, and I was looking for tradespeople to come in, and we were getting our kitchen redone, and I was getting quotes, and people or tradesmen would come round and they'd automatically speak to Paul, and it made me quite cross because he didn't really know what was going on, and I was the one that done all the research and doing all the planning and thinking. So I thought, I wonder what it'd be like if we got a tradeswoman round to give us a quote, and I started to try and find a tradeswoman, and I found it really difficult. I found that you couldn't search by gender, there wasn't none of the big sites that you kind of look for were sort of shouting about women in trade. And it was just, so in the end, we actually went with a male kitchen fitter who was amazing. And, this isn't about downplaying the amazing work that they do. And he was absolutely fantastic. But it kind of just ignited a thought that there was this huge gap in the market and a huge gap in messaging and with regards to women in trade. So we just started doing some research, and it just went from there. And we put together a business plan, and we managed to get some investment from an amazing impact investor, and it's shot up from there.
Yeah, I bet. And I totally hear you, because I get exactly the same. So I think it is really like, well, I mean, I think it's great on so many different levels, isn't it? Because obviously, as you said, you're trying to inspire women into trades, which I've spoken to so many women now, where they just haven't been offered this or seen this as a kind of like a role for them. They've always been kind of pushed into, like, you know, more kind of like people have said stereotypical roles like hairdressing and beauty. And so it's really great to see like you're going to have a platform solely just for these trades women. I think that's really empowering. But I hear you on that level of like, I get it all the time as well, because at the moment I'm doing my garden and I've had people come around giving quotes, and the minute my boyfriend walks out, the guys will talk to the guys. It's really interesting, isn't it? And really
interesting. Quite tricky, I suppose, for the men involved as well, because, you know, Paul, my partner, he's fairly handy, but he wasn't particularly involved in that sort of side of things with regards to the work we were doing. So he sort of was a bit of a rabbit in the headlights as well. But it's the conditioning, as you say, and it's how we're socially conditioned from nursery age even, and it's, you know, we were so shocked when we sort of saw the statistics around that, and the financial element as well. You know, the amount of money that women can lose just by going into a more traditionally female role, i.e. nursery worker or cosmetology or hairdressing, versus the trades is significant. We saw a statistic that a London-based nursery worker would sort of stand to lose nearly £1 million in earnings in a lifetime, versus if they'd gone into a skilled manual trade, which is deemed traditionally for men. And, you know, obviously if they want to go into those, then that's fantastic. But there's a lot of work to be done. And that's something that we're really keen on working with other people on as well. Because obviously there's a huge group of people trying to make sure that this is a problem of the past.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And obviously we met on Clubhouse, or I listened to your story actually on Clubhouse, which is obviously promoting women in trade with Michaela Wayne. And it's really great kind of like bumping into people on there actually, because there's so many inspiring characters. So you're just like really going to help kind of promote those women more and more. So what's so kind of like what stage are you at the moment, and what's the take up been like for you?
So we're just about to finish development. So we've been as I mentioned, we received some investment from this impact investor, Bethnal Green Ventures, who are incredible, in February time, and we did a lot of work around the actual model of the business. We obviously, because we're not from a trades background, we literally were like phone bashing, picking up the phone, Zoom calling like tradeswomen, anyone that would like want to talk to us basically. And we've got this panel of incredible tradeswomen who've advised us and led us from the tradeswomen side of things, of what they want, what they're looking for, what they don't like about other platforms. Every single step of the way they've been advising us, pricing, everything. And we've kind of paired that with the more traditional business side of things, where our skills lie. And we've also got other advisors from a business level as well, from other startups who are also incredible. And once we'd done all of that work, it was quite a long slog, because we didn't want to mess it up, and we didn't want to make something that was useless to people, and we didn't want to make something that then tradeswomen would just look at and laugh at us and just be like, why did you do this for us? So we really wanted to help basically. And so a few months ago, we started working with some developers, because the platform itself is fairly complex. Because one of the issues we wanted to try and remedy was the ability to book and pay online, which so few of the current trades or skilled trades websites allow you to do. They're mainly directories where you sort of find tradespeople and then speak to them directly. So they're just about to finish building that side of the platform. So we're hoping to launch autumn of this year.
Yeah.
And so at the moment, what we're doing is we're we're contacting as many tradeswomen as possible. We're launching in London, and we're launching with electricians and plumbers to start off with. And the response has been incredible, and it's been so amazing to see how excited the tradeswomen are, because we're not from that background, we didn't want to overstep the mark in any way. So yeah, that's the stage we're at the moment, and we're just looking to keep onboarding as many tradeswomen in London at the moment as possible for launch in autumn. I can't give a specific date, because as with all of these kind of website things, they're always always going to shift.
I bet. And so did you just say it's just in London, or is it going to be
at the moment? So our launch will be in London. The reason behind that is purely because we're a startup business, and we need to grow, and we don't want to just launch nationwide and then it not work for a reason, or there's lots of glitches. And the sensible way of doing that is to start small and grow. So we're based in London. There's a load of fantastic tradeswomen based in London, so we're sticking with that for the next few months, and then hopefully we'll grow pretty quickly. If tradeswomen aren't electricians and plumbers, but there's obviously loads of other amazing skilled manual trades out there, we're still onboarding them, we're still putting them into the system. So the second that we go, okay, now it's time to move out of London, they'll find out immediately, and they can start receiving bookings from us.
And so these are kind of amazing women. Have you spoken to them directly? Have you heard any of their stories? We've spoken to so many. As I said, because we didn't really have any tradespeople in our network. Certainly not female tradespeople. We've spoken to some incredible women. We've spoken to women who, one lady we spoke to, she was a singer in the West End and retrained in skilled manual trades. I think she might have been a plumber, and she's just like kicking ass. There's been women who've worked in, like, a lot of women that we've spoken to who are sort of slightly older, have had previous careers, and they've all been like incredible careers, which goes to show that the trade as a career isn't like a step down, it's a step across or a step up. Like a lot of women, like I said, in the West End, another lady had a career in advertising, and they're all decided that actually that wasn't for them. And a lot of the reasons that they gave were that when they were at school, they kind of wanted to do trade work, and they wanted to leave school and do that, but they just didn't feel confident enough to, because it just wasn't the done thing. And it kind of still isn't the done thing. We're not talking 50 years ago, we're talking 20 years ago. And so they've kind of retrained and got their own domestic businesses. We have spoken to quite a few women who work more commercially as well. But because of the nature of TaskHer and where we're starting off, we've sort of focused more on women who are doing domestic work. Which is fabulous. And do you think, like, kind of with that, what do you think the perks will be for the people that are going to book, and who do you think those people will be? Like, do you have like an avatar of kind of who that person would be? Or we did quite a lot of work on that at the start as well. We did a lot of research, sent out a lot of questionnaires, just to see, what if people were actually specifically looking for tradeswomen. Our target audience at the moment is our homeowners, and the simple fact is they'd be looking for a woman in their house, whether or not it's because someone like me who maybe is a bit frustrated, or also just I'm a bit of a feminist. I've got a daughter. I want her to grow up believing that she can do whatever she wants. And I want to support women in trade and gender equality, or whether or not they're, they feel more comfortable having a woman in their house over a man for whatever reason that might be. There's also, men. We're targeting men as well. It isn't just women that we're asking to book. We're looking for men who want to promote women in trade. Again, he might feel more comfortable having a woman rather than man if they're not, they're not too lad, and aren't, don't know what football scores are. A bit like Paul. Like they're our target audience. People who want to look after their homes and want to update their homes and have that money, but also have that ability to buy with purpose, or to have the choice to bring a woman into their home over a man. Yeah. I mean, I love the idea that you kind of like you said, because I think if I have kids, hopefully, I would definitely want to be showing them role models of women in trades, because like it is such a great profession. You can work independently. And there's so many different like avenues that they can go down as well. So it would be great just to kind of like say, look, this is normal. I think the more people that do that, then like obviously the more confident women will become, like to enter the trade, hopefully like at an earlier age as well.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think that's one of the things that we're trying to do with this sort of stage one element of TaskHer, where we're gathering together all of the tradesmen who are already out there and, you know, sending leads their way. Is literally just to sort of try and make it the norm, and, you know, to show people that that's something that should be the norm. And like one statistic that still baffles me is that I think it was in like the late 1970s, only 7% of solicitors were female, and now it's I think like 52%, which is just crazy because the 70s weren't that long ago, and we were in the same, you know, it's the same thing. Like if we, you know, hopefully in 40 years time we'll look back and just be absolutely like, you know, like baffled at the fact that only like somewhere between 3 and 5% of tradespeople are female, like at the moment, and that should be like absurd to us.
Check out designandbuilduk.net and go to the Women in Construction Awards section. On there, you'll be able to nominate any wonderful women, men and companies for one of our upcoming awards for 2023. On there, there's also a section for Women in Construction and Infrastructure Hub, where we're creating a community of women across the construction and infrastructure sector who are going to be passing each other work and inspiring each other. Due to launch in October, so if you just fill out the whitelist details, we'll keep you updated.
Thanks for joining us on the BiGDUG podcast in partnership with Design and Build UK's Women in Construction Awards. We're chatting to Anna Hernandez, co-founder of TaskHer, the only online tradeswoman booking platform. Be sure to follow us and TaskHer on socials and show your support. Did anybody kind of have any kind of concerns or worries about TaskHer at all? Because like my concern, I guess, would be, and this is being real devil's advocate, is do you think that some people might kind of like abuse the fact that they can select women?
As in
maybe like, yeah.
They want the women in their home.
Yeah, exactly.
No, that's a very valid question, and it's something we thought about. So we've spoken like with our panel of tradeswomen. That's an element that we're really serious about. So their safety as well as our client safety. So to sign up as a TaskHer tradeswoman, we do DBS checks. We take your bank details. We check all of the certification. We have to check your ID. So we have a full hold on your address as well. We have a full hold on who you are. So that's fantastic. So from a client perspective, you know, tradeswomen are as checked as they possibly can be. To be a client, you have to, when you're booking your task, you say you want to get a light fitting replaced. To do that, you have to give your bank details. We don't take money immediately from you, and we use Stripe as secure payment, but we'll have your credit card details. So first and foremost, that's going to probably stop the total weirdos out there who might literally just want to get a woman round. And secondly, we know where all of our tradeswomen are at any one time.
That's cool.
If anything were to happen, we'd know exactly where they are. When we onboard them, we explain to them that if there's anything that like concerns them in any way, they leave. And there's no questions asked around that. You know, if we've spoken to tradeswomen who've just said they've just got a bad feeling from someone and they haven't actually done anything, but they just didn't like being in that property, and they've just packed up their tools and gone back to their van. And that's what we advise every single time, because their safety and their safety is paramount.
Yeah, that's so good to hear, actually. And that's fabulous that you've actually got a tracker of where they'll be.
Well, we know all of the bookings, so we'll know exactly who's in what property. We'll obviously have the client's address, we'll have their contact details. You know, we live in a world where there's always going to be people that are going to try and abuse the system. So we've put in as many checks and balances as we can, because, well, again, like I'm female, and I can sort of put myself in their shoes and try and you know, it makes it easier for me to kind of try and understand. And also, like I said, we've spoken to enough tradeswomen who've said they've been in situations where they just didn't want to be at a property, and leaving's the right thing to do.
And I'm sure it works the other way around as well, doesn't it? That's the thing.
It does work the other way around.
Yeah.
And you know, for us, like as I said, like the onboarding process does mean that they're fully vetted. Sounds like quite a strong word, but you know, vetted, reviewed. You know, you can go on to some of the other, and I'm not here to badmouth any of the other trade sites at all, but like, you know, you can go on any website and bring, you know, get a tradesperson around who's not vetted at all, who just says, you know, they could have made reviews up, or you know, the system that they're in or the website they're on doesn't allow any kind of reviewing or vetting, and you can put yourself in some danger. So we're kind of putting that extra layer of checking just to make sure that everyone's as safe as possible.
And so will it be an app, or is it a website, or how will people kind of access this?
It's actually something called a web app, which is sort of a hybrid of the two. So it works really well on your desktop or your laptop or your iPad or your phone, but you don't have to download it onto your device, basically. So it's, for example, if you went on some websites, they might be a bit tricky to maneuver around because they're made for a laptop. This kind of works sort of with both. So it's kind of like the new generation of application, basically. That's how people can access it, just by the website URL, which is taskher.co.uk.
And then can they track to see where like their tradeswoman is, or how will that work?
No, but that's a very good. So I guess you're thinking a bit like Uber or
I don't know if we all want that,
I mean, eventually that would be amazing. So at the moment, this is our kind of launch version. So what the customer journey is they'd land on the site, they sort of select the trade that they're looking for. And they put in, you know, we've worked with, like I said, we've kind of established the kind of most common jobs that can be done in a home by a tradeswoman. Hence why we're starting off with plumbers and electricians, because a lot of those are, you know, leaky tap, like fix the boiler, those kinds of things. They select those and they're given a quote, which is again based on information that we've got from our tradeswomen, and then they give 3 different dates and times, and the tradeswoman who picks it up, we can match up their dates and times, make sure it fits their calendar, which is amazing for tradeswomen, because if they've got a sort of spare gap in their day or their week, they can kind of pop on TaskHer and see what's available for them to fill their diaries, which makes running their own business a little bit easier, which is always helpful.
Sounds really cool. And so with the launch date, are you planning anything kind of marketing wise, or how are you going to get it out to the world?
So we'll do quite a lot of social media marketing. We probably won't be having any major events just yet. But from a tradeswoman side, one of our tradeswomen is called Amy Barrett Singh. Amy Sparky. She's amazing. She's got a great Instagram following.
Yeah, I've interviewed her already.
Yes, she said. Yeah, she's so great. So she's on our panel of tradeswomen. She's been incredible, and she's just so behind the cause as well. So she's part of TaskHer, and she works directly with us, and so she's sort of tackling the tradeswomen onboarding side and making sure that as many tradeswomen know about the product as possible, because her network is second to none. So we're doing some work with her that will be coming up potentially this week, maybe next week, so you can have a look out for that. So it's just going to be a lot of online targeting, basically, until probably the new year, and then we might be able to do some more live bits and bobs, but we're trying to sort of play it safe at the moment. yeah,
definitely. Well, make sure that you kind of like touch base with us as well, and we can kind of help promote you on our social media too.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, no, definitely. I really love the idea of this. I think it is fab. I was just kind of thinking as well, you said, so you've got your stage 2. Can you just tell me a little bit more about your academy that you were
so that's something that's that we're hoping to start work on in the next coming months, so before 2022. And we want to bring someone on board to TaskHer who's got that kind of experience in launching those kind of training academies. What we really want to do is basically create an academy specifically for women, where they don't have to walk into a classroom where they're the only female, which again, like we've heard time and time again. And a lot of these guys on these courses are amazing. They're loads of fun, and it's not. I really sort of have to I really have to sort of keep mentioning that we're not here to bash any male tradesmen at all. But as a woman walking into a classroom full of men, it can be intimidating, especially the first time before you get to know them. So we're looking to create an academy specifically for women to train, whether they're retraining after career change or if they're school leavers. Again, we'll probably start with electricians and plumbers and heating and gas, and allow them to basically step out of that academy and into the real world, where they can partner up with current TaskHer tradeswomen for apprenticeships, and then get going with their own businesses. Basically, that's the plan. Again, so we're looking to sort of probably launch that. That will probably be the end of 2022, I'd imagine, maybe 2023, because that'll take some. Sorry, that's my dog in the background. He's just charging around the room.
It's so funny. This is why I love Zoom calls.
He's got a massive cone on his head as well, so he keeps just like hitting things.
You held it together really well there. So that's the plan, and the plan's there as well, not just to obviously to help women find courses that are specifically for women and to train, but also to plug this skills gap and the worry that Brexit and retirement and COVID of people heading back to their home countries. Like the UK just doesn't have the same amount of skilled tradespeople anymore, and the numbers going down, and we want to why not plug that gap with women? So it's to start building and churning out these incredible tradeswomen. And like I said, if they want to, they don't have to join TaskHer, but that the hope would be that they'd come on board and we'd help them start their businesses once they trained. Really exciting stuff. Yeah. And I do think it like that's the route, isn't it? That's where it needs to start. Like I was a teacher myself actually for 11 years, and I could see that the girls just weren't really inspired. And to be honest, I don't think trade was talked about that much either at the schools.
No, not really either.
No, and I feel like that is definitely where you need to get them, isn't it? Like, even like from like the year nines, like, when they're about 13, 14, just kind of start drip feeding the idea and concept that actually this could be your career. Doesn't all have to be about being an accountant or a lawyer or,
Completely. And also like the amount of money that they can make is incredible. And like, I think this week, I saw something in the Financial Times that alluded to the fact that the government will be promoting skilled manual trades and vocational courses over going to university. And over the last sort of 10, 15 years, people have been heading off to university and coming out and having a job that's like probably pays a third or, of what you'd get if you were, it worked in skilled manual trades. And, I'm definitely of that generation as well. And I think that, at schools we should be telling them, if you're incentivized by cash and you want to make a bit of money, then you can set your own hours, you can set your own holidays, your weeks. Like people are always going to need you. It's such a fantastic career, and it's such a fantastic career for women as well. So yeah,
absolutely. Cool. I think that's a really nice place to end, actually, Anna. So, if there was anything else you wanted to add, or where we could check you out.
Currently we're a holding page at the moment until launch, but you can log on to taskher.co.uk, which is taskher.co.uk, and there you can either leave your details if you're a tradeswoman, and we can get in touch and onboard you, or if you're a client who's just waiting to see if you can book a tradeswoman through us, you can also leave your details and we'll be in touch as soon as we launch. That would be fantastic. And as I said, we're onboarding tradeswomen at the moment, so if there's anyone listening that wants to work with us and fill the gaps in their diary or build their business, then we're all ears.
Thank you so much for your time, Anna. I'm really excited for you.
Thanks so much for inviting us on here.
Oh, no, you're very, very welcome. Thank you so much for listening as well. And please tune in next week for another really awesome celebrity guest actually for next week. So please tune in. Thank you. Gosh, it was so wonderful chatting to Anna Hernandez and hearing her story in the startup. And if you want to find out what else she's been up to, you can follow her on Instagram @TaskHer. Before we go, just a reminder, this pod is part of a series in partnership with Design and Build UK's Women in Construction Awards, as we celebrate some truly inspirational women in the trade. If you want to know who else we've been talking to, give us a follow and a subscribe on your podcast provider, and they will be delivered straight to you. You can also follow us on socials. But until next time, thanks for listening and bye for now.